Okay, hello there. This is Bev, ex-Ielts examiner, and I'll be giving you some feedback today. Okay, so your errors, corrections that you made here, they're all perfect, okay? That's good. All right, so let's take a look at your essay. All right, communication among relatives is changing, especially with the increase of smartphone usage, okay, because we're talking in general, and the evolution of internet technology. This essay will explore both positive and negative effects which the internet is causing among, which is having an impact, which impacts family communication, On one hand, the massive increase in information technology is causing the lack of face-to-face communication, within families. This is largely because using a smartphone enables young adults to be in contact with numerous friends in various ways at all hours of the day and night. Okay? For example, young adults upload different information to each of the social networking services, for such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and others. Full stop. This can cause anxiety in young adults about what events they may have missed, which they see advertised on these social networking pages. Therefore, young adults have the habit of checking their smartphones constantly, even though they are with their families, instead of talking with them. On the other hand, social networking services and other internet, I wouldn't say devices, but other internet sites, a device is your actual phone and computer, has increased the ability for vast numbers of people to keep in touch. Okay? This includes keeping in touch with families who live abroad. This is because of the cheap cost, and convenience that the internet provides to connect with our loved ones, because you're referring to families. Acquaintances are people you don't know that well. For example, 10 years ago, telephoning a foreign country was expensive, which nowadays is a fraction of the cost. Full stop. For example, by using applications such as Skype. Therefore, the spread of information technology enables better connection with families living in different places at a really cheap price on a daily basis. To conclude from the examples and arguments given, I firmly believe that although information technology might decrease direct communication within families, continue, it does, however, develop the amount of communication with the extended family, who do not live together, full stop. This also explores chances for each family member to pursue opportunities in other environments. Okay, very good. You've answered the question very clearly, putting out your argument. Okay, I would just take note of the way that I've reworded some of your sentences. You need to go and look at the sentence guide and try to keep your sentences a little bit shorter, keeping one idea in one sentence. Otherwise, it becomes a little bit difficult for the reader to follow your argument. Okay, your essay at the moment would stand at about a 6 in the exam. Okay, so let's take a look at your next task, which was the error spotting for singular and plural. Okay, so let's have a look. This remains without an S, the issue of internet usage, because internet usage is singular. It's one concept. Okay. Remains a contentious issue, again singular, which has, because it's singular, grown in importance. Okay, to suggest that the benefits of the internet, correct, which are increasing, correct. Then you've got, this is due to the fact that educators are, correct, because it's plural. Therefore, the over-reliance on technology, singular. Okay, this is one concept, like traditional knowledge is one concept. Okay, good. And I believe that school internet connectivity is a positive development. Okay, so that remains singular, singular, singular. You need to change that, and that needs to remain with a Y. Okay, good. Let's go to your following task about copyright. Okay, I think let's go down here. Let's, on the one hand, okay, your answer starts from the A. All right, so laws governing the concept of intellectual property, okay, singular, might restrict creativity, but it also defends the work of an inventor. This essay will explore both positive and negative influences that regulations such as copyright could cause, providing examples and arguments. Okay, so you need to reword that accordingly. On one hand, copyright regulations could limit the use of new creations for others, which could in turn which could in turn almost, I think what you want to say, prevent new innovations from being implemented or being used or being accessed. Okay, this is because the technologies which are defended by the law are often needed for developing new products. Okay, this is because the technology, singular, which is being regulated by the law, could be needed for developing new products. For example, to manufacture a carbon fiber reinforced plastic, there needs to be a lowercase, technology in producing the carbon fiber is needed. And if the technology is guarded by copyright, it would be difficult to achieve one's goal. Yeah? Therefore, copyright laws do have the potential to suppress creativity and development, which needs the copyrighted technology as a resource. On the other hand, okay, that should be a new paragraph. If there were no rules governing intellectual property, the value of new creative, I would say, innovations would drop rapidly, and this would lead to the lack of motivation in creators. Not would, but it could. It's not proven. Okay, this is because the internet, the technology of the internet has spread throughout the world, and it is easier for other inventors or creators to imitate this new technology. I'm not quite sure what you want to say there. You could say that because the internet is globally accessible, new ideas can be shared via the internet. I think that's what you're trying to say. For example, Japanese manufacturing companies are struggling because of the mimicry. I wouldn't say mimicry. I would say the imitations, and price and the low prices are struggling because Chinese manufacturing companies are able to copy and imitate products and sell them at a very competitive price, which leads to a decrease in the motivation for Japanese technologists. Therefore, copyright laws have an important role in protecting the work that comes from a technologist. Okay? To conclude, laws for intellectual property, no IES, might be seen as a disruption, okay, to the progress of technological development. Full stop. However, it can also be motivating. It can also motivate the engineer because his intellectual property has been protected. For this reason, I firmly believe that copyright restrictions have an important role to play in the development of technology. Full stop. Furthermore, in order to promote continual increased inventions, in order to promote a continual increase in inventions, it is crucial for the creators to take the balance to share and guard their properties. I think what you're saying is it is crucial for creators to take responsibility, to decide when to share their intellectual knowledge and when to guard it. Okay. Overall, you've answered the question. You do need to look at your paragraphing, so the structure needs to be looked at, okay, and some of your other vocabulary could be used. In terms of the coherence and the structure, you would need